The arrival of governors of the 36 states of the Federation for a crucial meeting in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. Major discourse at the meeting touches on the wage bill, gradually becoming a supposed nightmare to their spendings. Since the downturn in oil revenue, state governments have said there fears the monthly allocation from the federal purse is hitting a deficit as soon as it's shared, and so the sustainability of the current 18,000 naira minimum wage for civil servants may not be feasible. They say that the burden of wage was lighter when oil was selling at $126 as against the current $41.
The situation is no longer the same. When we are asked to pay 18,000 minimum wage when the oil is 126 and continue paying 18,000 minimum wage when the oil is 41, and the source of revenue of our expenditure, government expenditure, is from oil. We therefore agree here to take this suggestion to NEC so that we can be able to find ways we are going to tackle this problem.
The so-called bailout money that we received could not be, has been utilized, and now we need another bailout because every month we are in deficit. The income we have could not meet the revenue that the expenditure that we are spending.
The oil revenue is actually going down, and it's likely going to go down a lot more by next year. Salaries have gone up, so all kinds of considerations will be given. We'll need to look at the possibilities of looking to political office holder salaries and also all other salaries, because it's not a question of being able to run governance now. Most states are not even able to pay salary, not to talk of capital projects. And if we cannot free funds for capital development, then the rest of Nigerians are just shut out of government.
Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever.
In 2011, the national minimum wage came into existence after almost 2 years of agitation and then eventual negotiation by the tripartite of government, represented by both the federal and state governments, the Nigeria Employers Consultative Association, representing other employers in the private sector, and the organized labor. The Nigeria Labour Congress submitted a request of 52,000 naira as minimum wage for workers to live a healthy life over 30 to 31 days in a month. After back and forth talks, protests and strikes, the labor union reluctantly agreed to the 18,000 naira minimum wage, perceived as grossly inadequate as a living wage. As it stands, a number of states are yet to comply with the 18,000 naira minimum wage for workers backed by law. A critical look at the contentious minimum wage, an amount that when divided by 30 days amounts to 600 naira per day, and meant to take care of daily needs, which is increasing by day as social amenities like electricity, water, among others, are being provided by the people for themselves with their meager salaries. Fuel queues at petrol stations look to have taken a permanent position as Nigerians pay as high as 130 naira and above to power up their homes and businesses as the nation's power generation drops, leaving states in darkness and purses dry. During a recent march, the Nigerian Labour Congress insists an upward review of workers' salary is due and negotiations will begin in earnest, turning deaf ears to the governor's unpopular suggestion.
For the governors they must know that they must think outside the oil revenue. Sharing, it's time for production. States should become productive centers. That's why the industries were located. In the 70s, up to 80s, even in the 60s, before we discovered oil, Nigeria was functioning. And regional governments were paying correct wages to the workers. We don't need to depend on oil. They depended on industrialization.
This particular occasion also provides a platform for us to respond effectively to some of the conversations that our governors forum have made, I think yesterday and day before yesterday, that the minimum wage of 18,000 is not sustainable. I think that we reject in its entirety. Nigerian workers are not going to take it lightly. We are not the problem, but we are the solution. And therefore we are going to resist. Let them also understand that the 18,000 was not allocated to us. It was negotiated through a tripartite process and is a product of law and is due for review. In other spheres, minimum wages have been reviewed, and therefore we are going to champion also the review.
President Muhammadu Buhari recently approved the sum of 1.2 trillion naira reportedly drawn from the excess crude account to serve as a rescue plan for bankrupt states in order to meet up with the payment of arrears of salaries. The president also approved a debt relief program designed by the Debt Management Office to help states restructure and extend the lifespan of their loans. Bankrupt states had blamed their failure to meet up with the payment of salaries on the drop in the revenue from the Federation account. In a recent broadcast, the Finance Minister, Mrs. Kemi Adeosun, reiterates the need to cut down on government spending with the inauguration of a government spending control team called the Efficiency Unit, E-Unit, aimed at monitoring and cutting down on recurrent expenditure across the federal ministries.
In the few weeks that I have spent as the Minister of Finance, it has become abundantly clear that without a radical intervention to manage the costs of government, no meaningful improvement in our nation will be forthcoming. No amount of fiscal innovation, financial re-engineering, or other well-intentioned economic policy will deliver the desired results for as long as the manner in which government money is expended is not carefully controlled. We are determined to change the balance between capital and recurrent expenditure, to release funds for the investment in infrastructure that we all need, and to do so we must be more efficient in how we spend money. I'm today introducing the efficiency units, and I'm extremely excited to be inaugurating Nigeria's first efficiency unit as a critical tool in the management of public expenditure. We have seen similar initiatives deliver significant savings globally, and I'm sure that Nigeria will be no exception. The people have charged us with bringing change, and this is a very important part of it. Our vision is that our efficiency unit will be a change agent and a catalyst for improving the management and delivery of public services, so that we make sure that every naira we spend counts. The primary objective of this initiative is to assist government in identifying opportunities to reduce wasteful and inefficient spending by doing more with less. The Ministry of Finance has emphasised the need for the efficiency unit to provide concrete policy recommendations to generate savings for higher priority uses, especially capital expenditure.